earlier today.
This is my second ever one.
Also, my hands are a little red and sore on my nails because I was peeling beets earlier today.
That's all right. Mine are a little blue because I dyed my hair yesterday.
Yeah, I thought I still had some, food grade gloves left, but I don't. But I needed to peel those goddamn beets, so that was fun. Looked like I murdered someone.
That's all right. It looks like
Anyway,
I murdered a Smurf when I did my shower.
how are you this lovely evening?
Full.
I love it. I can't wait to be full. I'm pretty freaking hungry, actually. And pretty
What?
sleepy because I could not sleep last night.
I took a nap. Then I was up from like 2 to 4 maybe, and then I slept from 4 to 10. I don't know. I had like a weird sleep.
Yeah.
So I was awake for a good portion of today. But what the listeners and viewers don't know is that Naomi just watched me like hoover down a bunch of pork buns. And what nobody saw was the little box of scallion pancakes that I hoovered down before I came up here.
Ooh, yum.
But I really haven't eaten today, so
Yeah.
I've made up for what I wasn't doing earlier today.
Somebody had a food party. Yeah.
Party for one. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So anyway, yeah. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Oh.
I am trying so hard to get used to my new camera view, and I'm still upset, but I shall not dwell on it today. Whatever. I shall not dwell. Just to know on the inside, I'm saying a lot of really bad words.
I mean, I'll say them on the outside at some point usually because I'm the one who curses all the time. But I just hope that it doesn't decide to malfunction during this recording. That's what I was gonna say.
Well, apparently this one is fine because it's new, and also Mac compatible. This one is Mac, PC, and Chromebook compatible. So
I forget that Chromebooks still exist. But
yep, they sure do. They sure do.
Yeah.
Anyway, my dear, what have you been reading?
Okay, so you know this because I told you have to read it, but I started Filter World today. How algorithms have flattened culture, by Kyle Jacob. Maybe. I am 2 chapters in, and I am obsessed with this. Now, my friend has also read this, and she says that the first half is better than the second half, but she did really like it. But anyway, I feel like this book is talking kind of about everything that we kind of had a little therapy session about on our recent live.
Yeah.
So this is really just talking about the algorithm and how sort of to feed the beast of the algorithm, everything kind of gets put into like this really kind of banal, flattened, boring, like just column of inoffensiveness in a way, because you can't really be wild or so like the second chapter is really talking about taste a lot. And so you used to have like DJs and critics and connoisseurs who curated and recommended and put together newspapers and articles and all that stuff. Right. And now the real big driver is the algorithm. Everything is an algorithm. And there's a lot of things you don't see. Like there's a whole section on like what Netflix does that I didn't know some of the trickery that Netflix does. But anyway, so that was eye-opening. But now without that human part, and it's just all computerized, you don't really get a lot of like outlier things. Like eventually, as you interact with the algorithm more, everything just sort of like becomes homogenized. And it's like ripping us of, or keeping us from having a lot of I don't know, it's just like a boring existence, but it's also creating a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. Because you're like, why? You're almost making decisions that you wouldn't have ever made based
Mm.
on these feeds. And like when you take that second to step back, you're like, why would I buy this? Or like, why do I do this? Like he's
Mm.
talking about at one point sort of like the generic coffee house look. Like there's like a look, like if you say coffee house, I'm sure a lot of you have this idea in your head, and maybe
Yes,
it's like
brown leather sofa,
chalkboards,
makeshift bookshelves. Yes.
and like that has been curated to be something just from, like, obviously we all kind of like this generally broadly as people, and so you can go around the world and you will see very similar things because that has become the like aesthetic of coffee house, right?
Yep.
um and just like how weird is that?
It's very weird because it's like we're stripped of originality and diversity in like a broad spectrum of ways, right?
Hmm.
Mm.
And I think
Mm.
this idea of algorithm anxiety is a lot of what I've been trying to articulate for a while. This idea of like not really understanding what real reality is, what is actually happening. Everything becomes so curated to you, but it's not really personal because it's not really taking into the nuances of you or like the
Yeah.
other things. It's this vicious, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, snake in its tail kind of thing
Yeah.
that, yeah, it's very it's this is the kind of book that like is simultaneously making me feel seen and also making me more depressed.
Mm.
Um but
And probably
I kind of,
concerned with how this is all going.
yeah, and I don't know how you create, like, I feel like the ultimate challenge is to create outside of the algorithm, and I don't know if you can create outside of an algorithm with any amount of like success, and I mean like where it is distributed to any, in any broad sense, to anybody else. So if you're going to create art outside of the algorithm, how are you going to have anybody see any of that?
Right. It's
And
like if you
then
don't play
how,
within the algorithm, you can't reach the masses.
yeah, and then once you create the thing, and it's, even if you create it outside of the algorithm and you bring it in, how does that algorithm then subtly change your future creations? um so that you can keep feeding the beast the algorithm. It's very interesting. I'm very excited
Oh,
to
oh,
finish
I
it,
can't. Oh,
and I
this is going
need
to
you
be a
to read
great
this.
discussion. Oh, this is going to be a
I need you to read
fabulous
this so that
discussion.
we can
I
break
already
this
feel
down
it,
more.
Alyssa. I feel it.
But it has made me like, there's a little, let me see if I can just find it quick, because I feel like it's something that I've been, oh good, it's like right here, that I've been thinking about a lot too. It says, when we're not watching streaming television or hypnotized by social media and social networking apps, podcasts piped in through AirPod headphones provide ambient chatter, noise that represents social stimulus without real life social contact. And I'm like, how noisy is our world?
Mm,
Because like
yeah,
once you open your phone, once you like interact with something, it's just noise.
yeah. Mm.
When do we not have noise? So like, anyway, so I've been
Not even
having,
when I'm asleep because I have my television on.
mhm. So like this is like, I'm having like a come to Jesus moment or something with this book. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I need you to read it. I've
Yes,
also told Jess Owen she needs to read it. So perhaps
yeah.
the three of us need to do a little
Oh, yeah,
discussion.
yeah,
We'll tell her.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's Filter World, how algorithms flattened culture.
Mm.
Excited to finish it.
That's one to grab. That's one to grab.
Also, thank you, Doubleday
Yes.
for sending me
Mm-hmm.
that.
All righty. I have been reading The Dark Side of Skin by Jefferson. I'm not going to say his last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. It is translated from the Portuguese by Bruna. I can't pronounce that name either, and I'm not going to F that up. Thank you very
Tenorio,
much.
probably.
Maybe. Thank you, Charco, for this copy. I am 7 chapters in, 74 pages, and I've been reading this, slowly, a few, moments here and there throughout the week. And the writing and the translation is really beautiful. It's really sad and hard. Our main character is what feels like to me is I don't know, like searching for something. His father was murdered in a police incident, and it feels like he's trying to, I don't know, find some connection to him or get answers about who he was, or maybe get some resolution on things that he did when he was alive. And so he's using objects of his father's to like stir up memory of his father and things that they experienced and went through in their life when he was alive. And this deals with a lot of racism, colorism, um, police brutality. This part of Brazil that they're in, he calls the most racist part. So there are some very harsh things happening. He's having a very hard time finding a job, just kind of existing. We get to see him experience different relationships dealing with women outside of his race. That's a whole other thing. I'm just starting to get a perspective from his mother because she's been introduced. It's just really captivating, but also really hard. And it has one of the most beautiful and sad openings I've read in a really, really long time. So I can't wait to finish it, but it's it's hard. It's hard. So I don't know if this is going to be a book that kind of ends on a sad note, or if we begin to get like a glimmer of hope. I don't know, but I'm enjoying what I'm reading, and that is The
I'm
Dark
just
Side
reading
of
the.
Skin. This is out now.
Yeah, I'm just reading. Thank you, Naomi, for sending it to me. Um, I am just reading the first couple sentences,
Oh,
and
can I read some just so that the people can know what I'm talking about?
yeah, this is first
Okay.
of all, this sounds very Alyssa because I'm depressed already, and I love it.
Okay. So it opens, it says, sometimes you'd have a thought and go to live inside it, push everyone away, build a house that way, somewhere far, deep inside yourself. That was how you dealt with things. These days, I choose to think you left so you could come back to me. I didn't want your absence to be your only legacy. I wanted your presence, some form of it, even if it was painful and sad. And despite everything, here in this house, in this apartment, you'll always be a body dying over and over. You'll always be a father who refuses to leave. You were never that good at leaving until the end. It's a very powerful read. And now I'm really interested in this translator as well. I noticed that I've started to become pretty obsessed with translators over the last year and a half.
But you
Um
do a better job of like remembering who the translator is.
yeah, yeah.
I think
So
that's more
I've
of a
got some
function of like.
favorites.
I think it's because I don't always put the translator like prominently anywhere, and
Mm,
so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, or I'm
So
just not
anyway,
observant.
pick that up. I think that you're gonna really dig this. It is the type of book where you just kind of need to just sit down and just be alone with it in a
Mhm.
very patient manner. So yeah, pick that up. The Dark Side of Skin.
Unlike Filter World, which I'm consuming at a feverish pace,
Right. Right.
pen in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Well,
All right.
exciting today because we're going to be sharing some of the books that we have on pre-order. Now, this is not new for me, but it is new for me. I don't usually pre-order that many books in a year, but I have gone pre-order hog wild in
Yeah, you
2024.
you normally only pre-order special editions of Leviathan Wings.
Yes, special editions of the Expanse series. And of course, whatever the latest book is in the Wayward Children series, you know, and a Jay Christopher, he has something coming out, but I am not your pre-order girl, but I am this year. I am this year.
You are. We don't know her.
We don't
But
know her.
welcome. Well, I do think you and I have a few overlaps, but
we most certainly do.
Do you want to kick it off and then we'll see where we go from here?
Yes, I think I'll start off with what I think is going to be an overlap. I think we have 2 or 3. So the first one is a new book coming out by Julia Armfield called Private Rights. Julia Armfield wrote Our Wives Under the Sea. Fantastic book. Alyssa and I read that and discussed it. Go back into our podcast archive and check that out. Now, I've got this pre-order from Blackwell's because it comes out in the UK in June.
I don't have it pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered it because I want it in my grubby little hands. And I don't think I work with that publisher. So
I don't think I do either.
Yeah. So that's Private Rights, and that's coming out in the UK on June 11th. Let me see when it's coming out in the US. I forgot to check that. I'm really excited about this. Our Wives Under the Sea was so good.
What was it called again? Private Rights?
Private Rights. Okay, so
like RITE?
Yes, like burial rights. Is it the same pub day? Maybe it is the same pub day. I thought it was different. Hang on a minute. We're checking this in real time. We don't have a cover yet. Yeah, no cover yet.
Stupid.
Okay, so
it's Macmillan.
All right, so here we go. It's coming out from 4th Estate in the UK, June 6th of this year. Coming out in the US from Flatiron Books in December.
Oh, yeah, I don't work with Flatiron.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out when we get closer, because I definitely want it. So, yeah. Remember, I know that the spreadsheet of shame is less shameful now, but I'm still not trying to buy a lot of books. So
yeah.
Trying to be very strategic. She says this, and then you and I are gonna meet up, and I'm gonna buy like so many books.
Oh, it's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be ridiculous, and I can't wait.
But I'm trying to not buy many full price books.
Right.
So, I'm just gonna go down sort of in order. So at the end of this month, because I got my first pre-order, and it was House of Flame and Shadow, and we're not gonna talk about her. I did not like her. So my next pre-order for the year is Lore of the Wilds by Annalise Sabrana, Sprana, and it comes out at the end of February. And this has a really beautiful cover. I'm going to show you the cover, and it's, look at that.
Oh, whoa, that is gorgeous.
And
that is beautiful.
So it is a romantasy, and it sounded really, really good. And I think some people had already read it and reviewed it, and it sounded like they really liked it, and it sounded actually well done. So this is a debut. It's about an enchanted library, 2 handsome fae, and 1 human who brings them all together. A library with a deadly enchantment, a fae lord who wants in, a human woman willing to risk it all for a taste of power. You know, I'm a sucker for a library. I think this has like a wide choose sort of thing, so I'm here for that. And yeah, so I hope it's fun. Like, I hope it, brings some joy to my little life.
Yes, I love it.
So that's at the end of, that's out February 27th, so that's soon.
Okay. And I think I should have just read just a little bit about Private Rights. I'll just read just the very beginning. It says, it's been raining for a long time now, for so long that the lands have reshaped themselves and the cities have retreated to higher stories. Old places have been lost. Arcane rituals and religions have crept back into practice. So it's queer, horror, I'm ready for it. So, my next one, I think you want to read this one too, is Blue Sisters by Coco Malors.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Coco Malors wrote her debut novel was Cleopatra and Frankenstein,
Frankenstein.
which just really just took over my everything when I was reading that book. Loved it so much. So I'm really excited for Blue Sisters. It says it's a stunning exploration of sisterhood and grief, addiction, recovery, pain, and pleasure. I'm very excited. So this comes out from Fourth Estate in the UK on May 23rd, and it comes out in the US from Valentine Books. I think also later in the year. Hang on, I'm clicking on it. Oh, okay, April 25th. Yeah.
See, the
So,
problem is that I tried to get all my pre-orders in before the end of December, and neither of these two announced
yeah.
their books until January. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't do like December 31st and I could have snuck them in.
Right. Oh, I like both covers, the UK and the US edition. So yeah, I'm psyched about that. I'm psyched about that.
I will probably end up getting that full price at some point and then
Mm-hmm.
reading it almost immediately.
Yep. You know it. You
So
know it.
my next one is Lee Bardugo's The Familiar. And
Mm.
not because I really know anything much about it, but because this is a standalone and I'm very curious to see how this is going to be.
Okay.
So, and this is outside of sort of her normal sort of area. So this is, first of all, it's blurbed by Deborah Harkness, which just gives me vibes. So happy. And it's set in the Renaissance, I believe, in a shabby house on a shabby street in the new capital of Madrid. Luzia Cotado uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil as a scullion. But when her scheming mistress discovers the lump of a servant cowering in the kitchen is actually hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Luzia use those gifts to improve the family's social position. What begins as a simple amusement for the nobility takes a perilous turn when Luzia garners the notice of Antonio Perez, the disgraced secretary to Spain's king. Still reeling from the defeat of his armada, the king is desperate for an advantage in the war against England's heretic queen. Perez will stop at nothing to regain the king's favor. Keeps going. It sounds different, and I'm very interested to see how she does with like a more historical kind of fantasy.
Yeah.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. So it comes out on
People
April
are
9th,
excited.
and I'm very intrigued about this. Very intrigued.
I'm sorry, you said it comes out when?
April 9th.
Okay. Yeah.
Super duper intrigued.
I'll be waiting to hear what you think about it. Yeah, that's exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
Okay, this next one I'm really, really excited about. It is called Hours by Philip B. Williams. We do have this as a Libro pick this month, which is great.
We do?
This comes out. This comes out
Oh,
February 20th from Viking.
I did
It
get that
says
one.
an epic novel set in mid 19th century America about the spiritual cost of a freedom that demands fierce protection. In this ingenious sweeping novel, Williams introduces us to an enigmatic woman named Saint, a fearsome conjurer who, in the 1830s, annihilates plantations all over Arkansas to rescue the people enslaved there. She brings those she has freed to a haven of her own, a town just north of St. Louis, magically concealed from outsiders, named Ours. I'm so excited to read this.
It
So
did sound
excited.
really good.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I actually have an e-arc of this, I think, but I had it on my pre-order list. I'm not sure if Tor is going to send me a copy. They might, so I don't know. So it's still technically on my pre-order list.
Okay.
But it's called. It looks cute. It's called The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. It looks cute. Look at this purple one.
Oh,
Everyone's doing sprayed edges on like a first run book now.
it's a thing now,
Um,
Alyssa. It's a thing.
it is. It is. So this is a cozy fantasy debut. You've got cottagecore vibes. And so anyway, so it says join Keela, the librarian, and her assistant Kaz, the sentient spider plant, as they navigate the low stakes market of illegal spellmaking and the high risk business of starting over. It just sounds like it's gonna be so stinking cute.
Okay.
Keela has always had trouble dealing with people. Thankfully, as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she hasn't had to. So cute. Her and her assistant Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last 11 years sequestered among the Empire's most precious spellbooks, preserving their magic for the city's elite. But when a revolution brings the library begins and the library goes up in flames, she and Kaz save as many books as they can carry and flee to a faraway island Keela was sure she'd never return to, her childhood home. She lays her hopes her hopes to lay low in the overgrown and run-down cottage her late parents left her and figure out a way to survive without drawing the attention of either the Empire or the revolutionaries. Much to her dismay, in addition to a nosy and very handsome neighbor, she finds the town neglected and in a state of disrepair. It just sounds so cute.
Okay. Yeah, I can dig it. I can dig
So
it.
that comes out from Bramble technically on July 9th. And it just sounds like it'll be like a good summer read, cozy
Yeah,
read. Like pour yourself a cup of tea.
I like it.
You
I
know.
like it.
Mhm.
Okay. My next one is Miss Macintosh, My Darling by Marguerite Young. And this is Dowkey has gotten the rights for this, so they're reprinting this book. This description's long, so I'm trying to figure out where to read from it. So it says this novel is one of the most ambitious and remarkable literary achievements of our time. It is a picturesque psychological novel, a novel of the road, a journey or voyage of the human spirit in its search for reality in a world of illusion and nightmare. It is an epic of what might be called the Arabian Nights of American life. And then further down, it says
Interesting.
that Miss McIntosh herself, who hails from Whatcheer, Iowa, and seems downright and normal, with an incorruptible sense of humor and the desire to put an end to phantoms. Catherine Cartwell, the opium lady, a recluse who is shut away in a great New England seaside house and entertains imaginary guests. This sounds crazy, and I'm so here for this. I feel like this book's going to take me on a wild ride, and I'm very excited. So this comes out March 5th from Dowkey Archive Press. Miss
Okay.
Macintosh, My Darling.
Okay. So next on my little list here is actually a book that I'm so very excited for. And that is our friend Gabriela Gamez's The Next Best Fling. There's like a theme of librarian books. I just want you to know. It's like by everybody's got like a librarian theme.
Right.
So Gabby's actually someone we have known for a while on the interwebs.
Mm-hmm.
And this is her first published book. I think we've both read one of her unpublished books like a couple of years ago, and it was delightful. So I'm very excited for her debut. So
It's a
this
big
is
deal.
Two Broken Hearts. It is a big deal. Two broken hearts decide that the best way to get over their first loves is with a no strings attached relationship in this spicy and charming debut novel. I think it's adorable. You have a librarian named Marcela Ortiz. She's been secretly in love with her best friend for years, and when he gets engaged, she knows it's long past time to move on. But before she gets the chance, she has a bigger problem to contend with in the form of Theo Young, an ex NFL player and older brother of the man she's in love with. When she discovers Theo's plans to confess his feelings for his brother's fiancée at their engagement party, Marcella is quick to stop him, despite how tempting it is to let him run away with the bride-to-be. She manages to convince Theo to sleep off his drunken almost mistake at her place, and when they arrive at a family brunch the next day, everyone wrongly assumes they hooked up. This just sounds cute. I love it. I love it so much.
So fantastic.
This also comes out on July 9th. That's gonna be a good day. And I'm so proud of her.
Super proud.
And I just know it's gonna be good.
Super, super proud. It's amazing. Yeah. Amazing. We now have 2 published authors out of our little Instagram pan pizza group.
That's right, because Charlotte's book.
Yeah. You're next.
And my friend Emily is coming. I have to finish
You're
something
next.
first.
You're next.
My friend Emily is coming out with another book too. Who we've had on the channel before. So I'm really excited. But yeah.
Alyssa's next, folks. Just
God knows to finish stuff first.
Okay, my next one is The Children of the Dead by Elfriede Jelinek. And this is being reprinted by Yale University Press, coming out March 12th. Another long description. So it says, the Alpenrose is a mountain resort nestled in Austria's scenic landscape among historic churches and castles. It is a vacation ideal that attracts tourists from all over Europe. It is also a mass burial site. Amid the snow-topped peaks and panoramic vistas, ghosts haunt that Edgar, I don't know this last name, a young skier who died in a car crash, a philosophy student who committed suicide in her bathtub, and a widow who died in a bus accident. As the 3 slip in and out of the hotel, engaging unsuspecting tourists and seeking a way to return to life, the soil begins to crack under their feet as the dead of the Holocaust zombies determine to exact their revenge.
Wait, what's this called?
It's called The Children of the Dead. It won the Nobel Prize. I don't know what year, but yeah.
Is it just getting translated into English? Is that what it is?
No, I just think, like how one publishing house has it and, and then it's out of print for a while, then another one picks it up. I think that's what this is.
Oh, so, interesting. Keep me posted on that.
I will. So that's The Children of the Dead, and that's coming out March 12th.
That sounds good. I don't have that many left. So we have
How many
the
do you have
third
left? I think we have one more crossover.
Technically, I think we have 2 more crossovers, and I have 3 more left, including one of the crossovers. Because my other one's not on this list, but
I have
one
4.
of the ones. All right, we'll get there. We'll figure it out.
All right.
So the next one I have is The Queen Bee, which is the 3rd and final book by Juno Dawson in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven. So I don't know how to even explain this to you. Oh, okay. This one's going back in time. And we're getting some history on what happened with this coven. Oh, so this is going to be a fun ending. So I have to say is that so basically the first book is about I don't even know how to describe this. So the first book, I'm pulling it up because I can't do it.
Right.
There's basically this unknown hidden coven that is associated with the royal line. And there's also a bit of a rift that happens. There's between different covens because somebody spins off and makes their own coven. There's a lot of politics. It's got a lot of commentary on pushing back on TERFs. I don't know how to explain it all. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot going on. I need to reread 1 and 2 before I get to 3 because there's just so much that goes on in these books. Here, Juno Dawson explores gender and the corrupting nature of power in delightful and provocative story of magic and matriarchy, friendships and feminism, dealing with all aspects of contemporary womanhood, as well as being phenomenally powerful witches. Neem is one of the witches. Helena, Leonie, and Elle may have grown apart, but they will always be bound by the sisterhood of the coven. So you have like, you just, there's so much interplay between the witches, between their like families and their own peripheral
Yeah.
characters, um, reflections on like politics in the world right now. It is so good, and I cannot wait for this to be over, so that I can like to have that third one, so that I
Yeah.
can finally know what's happening. So it does sound like that we're going back in time a bit to get more. I'm not going to say when, where, or how,
Yeah.
but it does seem like we're going back in time. We're getting some history, perhaps on the origin of this coven, and all of that. So excited.
I like it. I like it.
So yeah, that comes out July 23rd. July's gonna be a good
Nice.
month.
Nice. Okay. My
Sorry.
next one is The Obscene Bird of Night. Now, this is newly revised and updated by Megan McDowell, who translates books for Mariana Enriquez. So I'm very excited to read this. Okay. Wow. These descriptions are really, really long. Let me try to chop it up in a way that makes sense. Okay. It
This
says
is
the
how you
mute.
do this. You pick long description books,
I
I guess.
know. What is going on? Okay, it says the mute caretaker of the crumbling former abbey. He is hounded by a coven of ancient witches who are bent on transforming him, bit by bit, into the terrifying, a twisted monster with all of its orifices sewn up, buried alive in its own body. Once Medudo walked upright and spoke clearly. Once he was the personal assistant to one of Chile's most powerful politicians. Once he ruled over a palace of monsters built to shield Geronimo's deformed son from any concept of beauty. Once he plotted with the wise women to behead Inez, Geronimo's wife. Then it says a little further down. Oh, hang on, I just lost it. It's so much. Oh, okay. The obscene bird of night frets the seams between master and slave, rich and poor, reality and nightmares, man and woman, self and other, in a maniacal inquiry into the horrifying transformations that power can wreak on identity. Ooh! So this comes out April 2nd from New Directions. So excited.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So this is one I think that we both have, and that's The Mercy of Gods by James S.A. Corey.
You got that right, baby.
Because my other one that we both have is not in this, because I ordered it from Blackwell, so it's not easily in this list of things. So you can cover that one.
Okay.
So this is a new world series from our favorites from The Expanse.
Yes.
So this is how humanity came to the planet called Ajin, maybe, is lost in the fog of history, but the history is about to end. See if you've got, I don't know, you've got a different bunch of different people. I don't know. There's a suicidal human rebellion. I don't know. I'm in for anything. I honestly don't want to even read this because I don't want to know. It just, I want to go back to space. I want to go back to authors I enjoy and see what they have. So
I'm so excited.
A spectacular new space opera that sees humanity fighting for its survival in a war as old as the universe itself. Okay, let's go. So this comes out August 6th.
When I saw the announcement, I almost burst into flames. I'm just like so excited. And I'm going to be very honest, you know, the Expanse series is like right there. Like every day I want to read it again. Every day I want to read that series again. And I've already read a lot of those books multiple times.
Multiple
times. I love that series so much.
I'm still waiting for the people, my friends that are reading it right now, to get to book 8 so I can hook back in and read with them.
So good. So good.
What's funny is I realized that I can now get 9 and the short stories in novellas and stuff in paperback, so that's good. So they'll all match my other Orbit books, right?
Yeah.
But then they also keep coming out with the special editions, so I've been buying those.
I know.
So I can have two full sets of these.
It's crazy, right? They're so pretty. So I follow them on Amazon. So whenever I get a notification, and that's how I found out about them. I was like, oh, pre-order immediately. They're beautiful. So now I have 3 beautiful special editions. They make my heart sing.
I will slowly have 2 full sets of The Expanse.
It's getting nuts over here. Okay.
Do you know how many Strange Dreamers I have?
How many?
I have I have 2.5 full sets. I have the full set of the hardbacks. I need one of them in paperback, and I have the special editions from LitJoy.
Insane, and I love it. Okay, I love it.
And we don't talk about how many Rebeccas I have.
No, we don't talk about that, but we know. We know.
There's a lot of them.
There are. My next one is a crossover for you and I. It is Mammoth, which is the 3rd book in the triptych. No? Ava Baltazar.
I don't have that pre-ordered though.
Oh, okay. Scratch that, folks. Only I have a pre-order because I'm a nut. So this is
permafrost. So.
Oh, right. And I do. So this is Mammoth by Ava Baltazar. This is the 3rd book wrapping up this triptych series. This is coming out from And Other Stories on August 6th. And it says the follow-up novel to the International Booker shortlisted Boulder is a story of queer motherhood and survival deep in the countryside. Mammoth's protagonist is a disenchanted young lesbian. She's inexperienced, irritated by life, eager to gestate, and determined to strip everything else down to essentials. She seduces men at random, swaps her urban habitat for an isolated farmhouse, befriends a shepherd, nurses lambs, battles stray cats, waits tables, cleans houses, and dabbles in sex work, all in pursuit of life in the raw. This small bomb of a novel, not remotely pastoral, builds to a howling crescendo of social despair, leaving us at the mercy of Ava Baltazar's wild voice. And I'm here for it. Yes.
I still need to read Permafrost.
Me too. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you.
I don't know. I'm in the mood. I'm not in the mood.
Me neither. Not right now. And this is really short. Again, 144 pages. So I think Permafrost is a little thicker, but not by much. Not by much.
So the last one that I have
How
on
many
this
more do you
list,
have left? Okay, good. Me
the
too.
last one I have for this. That's funny. It's another cute book. I feel like when I was pre-ordering books, I was like, you know what I need? I need cute. I must have been depressed when I was doing this. It's called A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping.
Oh, that sounds adorable. Hello.
Naomi. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So this adorable book, they moved the pub date, so hopefully it comes out this year. They moved it from April to September 10th. This is an enchanting novel about a witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. And this is from the author who wrote The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So Sierra Swan, I don't know, was once one of the most powerful witches in Britain. Then she resurrected her great aunt Jasmine from the very recently dead, lost most of her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her magical guild. Now she, slightly reluctant and just a bit grumpily, helps Aunt Jasmine run an inn in Lincolnshire, where she deals with her quirky guests' shenanigans, tries to keep the talking fox in check, and longs for the magical future she lost. I'm sorry, it just sounds like it'll be fun.
It does. It does. Wow.
I clearly had needs when I was doing my pre-ordering, and they were cozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, my last one is Metamorphosis, Climate Fiction for a Better Future. And this is coming out from Milkweed on October 22nd. again, another weird description. So it says a visionary anthology of climate fiction from Grist. So it is. This anthology features a wide array of thought, Afro, Asian, Indigenous, Latinx, disabled, feminist, and queer futurisms, hope punk, solar punk, and more. I'm not going to read the rest because it's just too much. I'm kind of naming some of the stories, but I'm excited to see what this is all about. I've really gotten into climate fiction, so I'm excited to see what these authors have to offer, especially from these like diverse voices. So that's Metamorphosis, climate fiction for a better future.
You know what you didn't talk about?
What?
Empire of.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I sure didn't, and that's been pre-ordered since for 4 months. Maybe that's why it's so deep in my list.
That is the last one that we share.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, it's Empire of the Damned, correct? By J. Kristoff.
Yep.
So it's the second. We both really love Empire of the Vampire. We do need to do a reread.
Yes.
I'm just always here for like the moody emo-ness of it all, and like that's it. It's just fun. It's just a good time.
Yes, it is a really, really good time. A really good time. I liked
the way the narrative was sort of laid out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time. I'm excited to see where we're going. I like the artwork in the middle. You know.
Yes.
I don't know if I like J. Kristoff as a person, but that's okay. We're just gonna put that to the side.
I don't care. I don't care.
Bucket, and then I'm gonna put the book over it.
Yeah, I mean, I love those books. Look, he writes stuff I enjoy. You know.
Yeah,
I'm psyched about it.
So,
yeah,
I am psyched too. And thank you for reminding me that I have UK covers because I don't like the US covers.
Exactly. UK covers, hands down, look the best. So those are some of the books that we have pre-ordered, and I'm gonna try not to pre-order anymore. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
You reminded me that there are a few that I do want. I know. You did remind me there are a few that I want, and I will have to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cross that bitch when I get to her.
Boom. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Let us know if you have any books pre-ordered. We'd love to hear about it. Oh, and let us know if you have any that match what we're pre-ordering. That's also fun. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Let us know things. Just tell me something nice that happened to you today.
Yeah. Me?
Sure. And the viewers.
Oh, yes. Do that. Yes. Let us know. We like happy times.
You can tell me something nice that happened to you today. What happened to you today that was nice?
What was a win for you, people? What was a win for you?
But what was your win, Naomi?
You know what my win was? Prepping my meal. Prepping my dinner, because I had avoided it all week, and I'm just very proud of myself for being productive and sticking to the plan of making my dinner early this morning. So now it's done, and I don't have to worry about it, and my vegetables didn't go bad. That's my win for the day. Yes.
Good job.
Yes. What was your win besides those pork buns?
Oh, the pork buns were definitely a win, but I got my oil changed before the check oil light came on.
Hello, proud of you. Yeah.
And I did send my father a text that said, "Dear Father, I would like to inform you that I changed my oil before the light came on. Love, Alyssa." He just wrote back.
Good job. Good job.
Proud Did you know that one time? I think is it when we first met? It might have been the when we first met that I drove from New York to nearly South Carolina with the check engine light on.
Yes.
And I got my ass handed to me.
Yes.
He's like, "You could have died." And I'm like, "But I didn't."
She's a rebel, folks. She's a rebel. Yeah.
It's just amazing I've made it to 40, frankly, is what it is. I'm just as shocked as everybody else that I'm here.
Ring that celebration bell. Yeah. That was dicey.
Yeah.
All right. Let's recommend some books.
All right.
Shall I
You
go,
want to go
or
first?
shall you go?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm
This
chewing on tapioca.
is. Oh, yum. This is The Observable Universe, an investigation by Heather McCalden. Thank you, Hogarth, for sending me this advanced copy. Let me tell you something. Hogarth is like steadily creeping up to being like one of my favorite publishers. They have been like kicking butt. This is a memoir of sorts, and both of Heather's parents, who were married, died of AIDS. And so this is her story about that experience. They died when she was 10. So a very traumatic thing to have witnessed as a child. I have several, you cannot see, but I have several pages that are dog-eared. I know someone just passed out when I said that. So this
Not
is
me.
not right. This is not your typical like straightforward memoir, like, hi, this is who I am, this is my childhood, this is what happened in my childhood, this is what happened in my teen. It's not written in that way. It's kind of written in fragments. And what she's doing is she's making a connection with the rise of HIV AIDS and the internet, and how a lot of those things interlapped, and how virality was like a forefront in the rise of that disease and the rise of the internet. So while you're reading this, like this is right around the time that, I was aware of these things. Much of it is sad, and then much of it is also very nostalgic because you remember these moments that happened surrounding the AIDS crisis, and then surrounding the advancement of the internet. And it's just really interesting. I have so many notes in here, so many things marked, but it's not because they died when she was so young. She doesn't have a lot of answers. So much of what she's doing in here is also trying to like get an understanding of who her parents were as people. Again, they died when she was 10. So she's trying to figure out, well, first of all, how did AIDS even come about in their marriage? Was somebody cheating? Was someone on the down low? What was going on with that? Were her parents good people? Did anybody know them? She was raised by her grandmother, her mother's mother. So she's on this whole journey to kind of figure out who were my parents. And along the way, she hires this like this. She's not a private eye, but she acts in that capacity, sort of. But she was so wild and so like scatterbrained, but like super, super smart and really technically savvy. But her personality like just jumped off the pages. And I just laughed every time this woman had a connection with her. But anyway, this was a really interesting memoir. And I've not read a memoir that was formatted and structured in this way. But I quite enjoyed it. This comes out March 19th. And The Observable Universe, an investigation by Heather McCalden from Hogarth Books.
Interesting.
Very much so. Very interesting.
You're the first person I've heard talk about that. That sounds really interesting.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Sure you don't, Siri.
Okay, Siri, stop it.
All right. What you got?
I don't think we talked about this. I haven't showed you this little book, right?
No.
So this is Two Cities by Cynthia Zarin. And it's like a travel memoir. I don't really know how to describe this. It's actually just two almost essays. One is called Venice and one is called Rome. It's sort of meditations on each of those cities. But it's also like deeply personal. And so it's Zarin going back to each of those cities without the person she would always been there with. She's been there many times with, a lover, a person in her life. And it's her experiencing it wholly on her own now, and how those experiences differ, what those experiences bring up for her about those relationships. It's a very interesting, they're just very interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I want to pick a favorite, but I can't pick a favorite. The Venice narrative is very like otherworldly in a lot of ways, and I think that speaks to like the just overall uniqueness of Venice. And Rome seems to focus more on like history, which
Yeah.
again I think speaks very much to that city. And it just was a really interesting way to do a more autobiographical story, but also mix it in with travel and
Mm-hmm.
talk about how do you how like something that I don't think that we often see in books that talk about breakups or being single again, in that how much a person leaves like a mark or a shadow on a place.
Mm.
And yeah, you can think about like where you lived or your hometown, but like there's other places, um there's other things that and where you shared moments and experiences, and then what are those places and things like when you do them on your own. So I thought it was
Yeah.
very interesting, and I
Mm.
really liked it. I thought, and obviously it's a quick little read,
Yeah.
um and there's some really lovely parts. The way she writes some things is really lovely, and I just I really like want to go walk around Venice now and get lost,
Yeah.
and be sort of in a fever dream of Venice before it totally sinks into the sea and we never have it again.
Right. Yeah.
Um, oh God. So it's so here we go. The treasures of Venice are like dreams told before breakfast. When they leave the light of La Serenissima, they turn to dross. So like everything in this first one feels like it's just such a dream.
Mm.
Like it's so intangible.
Yeah.
Whereas the Rome story feels much more grounded. I don't know, it's very
Hmm.
interesting. I think you'd like it. I think
I'm
there's a lot to like
intrigued.
dissect in here. And she's a teacher, I think. Like she's a professor. I want to say at Yale. Yeah, she
Okay.
teaches at Yale. So she's been like a contributor to New Yorker for a long time, and she
Okay.
has written other travel pieces. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's
Intrigued
not
by that
called
one.
Venice. It's called Serene. It's
Okay.
Venice.
I like that. I
Anyway,
like that.
yeah,
I like it.
it's like it's a quick little
Well,
book.
that was fun. And now I'm like super
Mhm.
psyched for my pre-orders. Just saying.
I'm psyched, but now I'm mad that I didn't pre-order other things.
I mean, and let me not encourage you to do something that you don't want to do. I'm just gonna zip it. I'm just gonna
Zip
zip
it,
it.
lady,
I'm just gonna
because you're
zip it.
gonna enable me enough
I'm just
before
gonna
you
zip
know
it.
it.
I'm gonna zip
Hmm.
it. And I would just
She's
also
gonna
like
get.
to point out that I've also been good because lately I've read some things and I have been so close to texting you like, we gotta read this together. We got but I have just backed off because I know you're trying to mood read more this year and not get yourself
Thank you.
jammed up in all these buddy reads. But I just want you to know that I have been so close. So close.
Meanwhile, what did I do to you today? What did I do to you
I'm
today?
not counting it. You know why? Because it's for the show.
That's true.
I'm not counting it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're not buddy reading it because I'm
Exactly.
gonna finish it before you ever even get it.
Exactly. This is that's podcast content. So I'm not counting that. But I just want you to know that I have shown great restraint.
I appreciate your restraint. You are a goddess.
I'm trying my best. Trying my best.
Mhm.
All right, folks. Find us everywhere at TBR Lowdown. Visit our website, tbrlowdown.com, for all the good stuff. Reading challenges, community reading schedule, and I'm feeling really goosey tonight. Just share this with 20 friends. Share this podcast with 20 friends. They don't have to be good friends.
20.
Sure, why not? Sure. 20 sounds good to me. Let's
They
roll with it.
don't have to be good friends,
No,
she says.
no, they can be work friends. You know what I mean? Doctor's office
Are
friends.
work friends?
You know? Yes, they're work friends. You know?
Okay,
Doctor
if you say
office
so.
friends. There's all kinds of friends. Sure, 20 friends.
Doctor's office friends.
You know, the receptionist, the scheduler.
The
They become your friends. Yes.
Do they?
Yes.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, sure.
Do they? You must be way friendlier than me.
I am. The ladies
all
at
know
the
that.
front desk at Caleb's dental office, we've had like a 30-minute conversation about what we're reading before. Yes.
That
Share it,
sounds
folks.
like a nightmare, Naomi. You just make friends with strangers? Like,
share it, folks.
in public?
Look, if the vibe
I brought
is right.
Jesus. Wait. I brought Jesus with me to the oil change so that I didn't have to have any awkward conversations with the people and they could talk to Jesus. We are different people.
If the vibe's right, I just let it happen, man. I let it happen.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Anyway, folks, that is going to do it for us. We are out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.